Hello class, this is my post for form number 4. First, let me say how much fun I've had in this class learning the material and learning from all of you. For all that, I'm very truly thankful. Now, the story of change as described in Senager's Digital Leadership when it came to Clark Hall was truly inspirational, but one at first I thought came from some other world. A school where soft furniture replaces desks, where free-form group learning replaces moderated classroom learning, where the public school educational structure that can sometimes resemble a dinosaur walking through mud is replaced by a nimble gymnast that can turn on a dime. That can really be hard to believe. As someone who's worked in the private school world in the secondary and higher education levels, as well as having children in the public school environment, I am truly amazed that Clark Hall is able to happen at all. In so many cases, especially in the public school environment, schools or school systems are very, very slow to change. This is a variety of reasons, including the multiple layers of bureaucracy in the public school system, to the inability of times to get sufficient buy-in from teachers, parents, and administrators. As we learn in science, an object at rest tends to stay at rest, and that can destroy many of our modern schools. When I was thinking about this type of space, how this type of space would contribute to student learning, I thought about how Scheninger talked about how the key to transformation is, quote, the integration of authentic learning experiences and technology that engages students of all levels and makes learning meaningful, unquote. Again, I go back to the difficulty of enacting that type of change in the educational environment. But in this case, they made it happen. So how does this contribute to student learning? While comfortable furniture and bright paint can present a pleasant atmosphere, you need an educational plan to blend with that environment. In the case of Clark Hall, they used project-based learning, otherwise known as PBL, in conjunction with technology and the environment to promote learning. Scheninger's experience at Google in New York at their headquarters provides a really good example of the effectiveness in PBL in a comfortable environment. So when I was thinking how I would describe my ideal school, it would not fall far from the Clark School example. To break away from the Henry Ford line assembly educational paradigm that we've lived in for over 100 years to one where the teacher is not sitting pharaoh-like in the front of the classroom, but is walking side by side with the student on an educational journey is paramount in my ideal school. Combine this with a breakout from the traditional classroom environment to a more open classroom, I believe will lead to enhanced student learning. The last part of the issues would be the toughest. How would you convince local leaders to invest in an outside-of-the-box educational environment? Unfortunately, school systems are tied to so many local, state, and national standards. I think it would probably be near impossible to recreate Clark Hall in many other areas. I would rely heavily on that commercial aspect of the Clark Hall experiment to sell it to local officials. The ability to establish an alternative educational experience that can self-budget, where it's not costing the locality any money at all, would really help reluctant leaders to embrace the change, whether they believe it or not. In the end, unfortunately, I believe that Clark Hall is an enigma that many school systems probably will never replicate. While the results prove the model, the educational journey to get there, I believe, would be just too much for school systems to bear. Only when the educational journey moves from rest, let's go back to our science lessons, to motion, will change like it's outlined above happen. I really look forward to reading some of my other classmates' posts on this. I had a lot of fun reading this week. It was incredible to sort of understand how other schools are doing it. I really want to take it back to the school I'm working at and see if we can implement some of that. But I thank you for watching my video, and I look forward to reading your posts.